Hi Year 3, I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to lesson 3, which is I can multiply a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number using the grid method. Now the grid method is something we have already looked at in school. I'm hoping that this will refresh your memory and you've got an opportunity to practice it again today. First of all, I have got another website for you to have a little look at. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on, when you've got the PowerPoint, click on that and follow the link. And it looks something like this. You can choose how long you're going to do your the practice for, and you can choose the question cutoff as well, which is I think automatically set to 4 seconds. And what that means is it will give you 4 seconds to actually answer the question. So you choose what delay you want it to have on there. So pick the times table that you want to practice. Have a good think about which one you want more practice on, and then it'll come up with a screen like this. You can type the answer in using the computer if you're sat at a computer, or you can type the answer straight in your box. By clicking on these buttons here, as I've been talking, you can see that I've not got the answer correct, and that means after 4 seconds I set it to, the answer pops up on the screen, and that does affect your score. So make sure you think about how quickly you can answer these questions before you put in what time you want on there. Okay, so have a little practice on that alongside the times table rock stars, please. Okay, let's go back to our work for today. So we're thinking about the grid method. We have got here a multiplication question. 22 times 4 equals what? So we're going to be doing some written calculations today. So the first thing you need to do is partition the biggest number into the tens and the ones. So we know already from looking at 22 that we've got the tens here, 2 tens, and the ones here, 2 ones. And we're multiplying it by 4. So we're going to partition the large number first of all into the tens and the ones. So 20 and 2. Then you're going to be drawing a grid and placing the numbers in like this. So we've partitioned them. We've got 20 and 2, tens and the ones, multiplied by 4. Okay, then we're going to be starting to fill those answers in. We know that 20 times 4 equals 80, and 4 times 2 equals 8. When we were working out 20 times 4, we can remember that little wizard method, okay, that we looked at yesterday, the little wizard's hat. So we're using that multiplication, to find the multiplication facts, using the wizard's hat, calculating the answer, 4 times 2 equals 8, looking at the zeros we've got there, and then putting the zeros back on the answer. So that's looking back at yesterday's work as well. That will help you when you're multiplying your tens. Think of the wizard's hat, okay? After you have solved the calculations, you need to add the 2 answers together. And what we mean by the 2 answers are these ones here. 20 multiplied by 4 is 80, and 4 times 2 is 8. You're going to add them together, and that gives you the answer to the problem, which equals 88. So 20 times 4 equals 80. 2 times 4 equals 8. Add them both together. 80 plus 8 equals 88. So 22 times 4 equals 88. Let's have a go doing this one together. So what I'd like you to do is get your whiteboard and pen if you've got one, or some paper and a pencil. So pause this video. Okay, now you've got everything, we're going to be having a go doing this together. So I would like you can pause the video whenever you need to. I would like you to draw yourself a grid that looks just like this. It doesn't have to be perfectly neat. The reason I have put a table on here is because when I drew mine, it looked a little bit like this. Okay, which isn't very neat at all, is it? So don't worry about what it looks like as long as you've got the calculations in there. So we've got 23 times 6. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little multiplication in there to remind us that we are timesing these numbers together. I'm going to partition this number into tens and ones. So I've got 20 here because I've got 2 10s. And I've got 3 1s. So I'm going to pop 3 in here. You write that down as well. We are then multiplying both the numbers here by 6. So I'm going to put 6 in here. We are now going to multiply these numbers together. Remember the wizard's hat first of all, when we're multiplying 20 by 6, we're multiplying a multiple of 10 by a number. So I'm going to do 6 times 2, which I know is 12. I'm then going to add that 0 back on because we know it's a multiple of 10. So 6 multiplied by 20, or 20 times 6, equals 120. Then I'm going to fill in this box here. 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. We are then going to add these numbers together. 120 add 18. 0 add 8 is 8. 2 add 1 is 3. 1 add nothing is 1. So our answer is 138. And when we're adding these up using the column method, remember that these represent the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. So here I'm adding 0 add 8. Here I'm actually adding 20 add 10. But it just makes it easier to try and forget about the zeros and add it up that way. So here's our answer, 138. Okay, here it is looking a little bit neater than my writing all over the screen. Here's one for you to have a go at now. Have a little look, pause the video, you have a go working it out. Okay, now I'm going to show you the answer. 45 times 3 equals 135. I'm going to change the colour of my pen so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so the first thing I did was 3 multiplied by 4. I did my little wizard's hat. So 3 times 4 equals 12. I then added back on that 0 that I took off. Remember, we moved our digits to the left, which makes it 120. 3 times 5 equals 15. I then added both of them together. 120 add 15 equals 135. There's our answer, 135. Let's have a look at another one. 17 times 5 equals what? Pause your video. Okay, now we're going to have a little look at the answer. There we go. 17 multiplied by 5 equals 85. I would now like to have a little think about all the things that were our keys to success, really. You need to make sure you look at what the question is. Partition the large number. Think about the tens and the ones. Draw a grid. Don't worry if it's not neat, okay? As long as you can understand it and as long as you can read the numbers that you have written, that's the most important thing. Write the numbers into the grid, solve the calculations, add the answers together. Then you need to make sure you write this number at the end of the problem to finish answering the question. Okay, now you've got some challenges that I want you to do. Okay, have a look at these. You've got 6 questions here. In a moment, you're going to pause the video and then I will show you the answers. Remember, partition those numbers first of all into the tens and the ones. So this one would be 20 and 5 multiplied by 9. Okay, sorry for how messy that grid is. Have a think of those. Pause the video. Okay, I'm now going to reveal the answers. There we go. Check your work. Obviously pause it if you need to. Okay then, now we've got some problem solving and reasoning that I'd like you to have a go doing. I would like you to make sure that you use the grid method to solve these. We are going to look at other methods for the next 2 days, but for today I want you to concentrate please on using the grid method. Read through the questions, remember to underline or circle those important bits when you're reading these problems, and make sure you actually read the question. What does it want you to answer? Pause the video and give these a go. Okay, I'm now going to show you the answers. Okay, so Mrs. Norris has 6 boxes of Mars bars. Each box contains 25 Mars bars. So your actual question would be 25 multiplied by 6, because it says how many Mars bars has she got altogether. So you're doing 25 times 6, which is 150 Mars bars. Question B. Ms. Emmanuel is planning an online virtual party for charity. She sells each ticket for £8. There's an important bit of information. And she manages to sell 52 tickets. How much money will she make? So our question here would be 52 times £8, which equals £416. I hope you remember to put in your little symbol, the pound symbol on here as well, because it is actually pounds. Question C. Mrs. Taylor has 3 packets of 75 grams cat food. Her neighbour has 6 packets of 38 grams cat food. And you can see I've underlined and highlighted those important bits of information. Mrs. Taylor says that she has more to feed her cat. Is she correct? No, unfortunately, she's not correct, because 3 times 75 grams equals 225 grams, and 6 times 38 grams is 228 grams. So her neighbour actually has more cat food. Okay then, that's it for today, year 3. Hope you enjoyed it. I would like to say to you that if you want to practice some more, then if you've got some dice, you can generate your own questions where you're multiplying a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number. So you can practice doing that, and also carry on practicing on the little things that I've given you, okay, for you to have a little practice on. And of course, make sure you go on Times Table Rockstars, please. Again, a big well done to those who have been doing it. Okay then, goodbye to all of you for now, and I will speak to you tomorrow.